welcome to the Political Stock Exchange, India Today, Axis My India's weekly election tracker that's building up to general elections 2019 by telling you the mood across the country every week in the big battle for India. And today, our gaze is turning down south,
where we've seen TRS chief K. Chandrasekhar Rao bowl a googly advance elections in his state. Is this likely to work in his favor? Could this go against him? We'll be looking at Telangana, we'll be looking at the adjacent state of Andhra Pradesh, we'll also be looking at Karnataka.
That's right, 3 states which between them have as many as 70 Lok Sabha seats. And Telangana and Andhra, of course, now will also have state assembly elections. Who's up? Who's down? Whose stock is rising? Whose equity is falling? That's what we tell you every week on the election tracker.
Rajdeep and I have been pouring through these results. We'll present them to you over the next 40 minutes. Let's get started by introducing you to our guests. Joining us from the ruling party, Member of Parliament, National Spokesperson GVL Narasimha Rao. Introducing for the first time on the Political Stock Exchange, Praveen Chakravarti. He heads the data analytics cell of the Congress party, understands big data and also importantly is running a tracker of his own for the Congress. With us also on this broadcast for a political perspective from Bengaluru, Professor Sandeep Shastri. With us on this broadcast, Pradeep Gupta, who's the lead cephalogist for Access My India. Ram Mohan Rao is the spokesperson of the TDP. Banu Prasad is the spokesperson of the TRS.
That's right. So we've got all bases covered. And we are going to start, in a sense, with the state that's making the news. Because remember, just a few days ago, Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao made the first big move to raise his stock by deciding to go in for a snap election, the winter election likely in Telangana. What's the mood? What are the numbers looking like in Telangana?
Let's take that straight up. Coming up on your screen now, the response to the question on who should be Telangana's next chief minister. Just what do people in this new state feel? K. Chandrasekhar Rao leads the pack with a fairly commendable popularity rating of 43, which essentially means that people are reasonably satisfied with his performance. They'd like to see KCR as chief minister once again. Coming in at number 2 is the candidate of the Congress party, the man who runs the Congress in Telangana, Uttam Kumar Reddy, with 18%. Then there is the BJP candidate who's coming in at 15%, G. Kishan Reddy. The next candidate is, from a smaller party, the TGS, a political activist, M. Kodadaran. He's at 6% popularity. And finally, there is the one and only Asduddin Owaisi, the MP from Hyderabad. He's not really in the race to be chief minister, but he's coming in at 4%. So that's the stack in front of you now. K. Chandrasekhar Rao leading the pack at 43. I want to bring you now the next question. How happy are people in Telangana with the performance of the KCR government? Here it is, coming up on your screen right now. Response to the question on the performance of the state government. Let's take first those who say the performance has been good. 48%. Now that, if you remember what happened in episode 1, when we showed you the results from Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, 48% is reasonably commendable. 48% of the respondents thinking KCR has done a good job. 16% think he's average. So those are the respondents who are in the balance. They could go this way and they could go that. Then there are 26% respondents who say KCR's government has been bad, which essentially means this 26% is likely not to vote for the TRS, which means 26% voters are out. But if you think the performance has been good, therefore in that 48%, the chance of people voting for the TRS is high, which essentially means, Rajdeep, that people aren't dissatisfied with the performance of KCR. On balance, they actually think the man's done a good job.
Which is perhaps one reason why he's decided in a way to go for a snap election. Go for a poll when it appears that the going is good at the moment. These are, of course, early numbers, Sandeep Shastri, but my sense is from these numbers that K. Chandrasekhar Rao, 5 years into power, last time, of course, the glow of a new state propelled him forward. This time, many of his cash delivery schemes providing direct cash to farmers, irrigation, power schemes on the ground, this doesn't seem too bad a result or too bad a finding for the sitting chief minister.
Yes, Rajdeep, if you look at both your data points, it seems to be a positive indicator for the Chief Minister and his party. The fact that as a Chief Minister choice, he's well ahead of the others was to be expected, given the fact that he has been visible as the Chief Minister for 5 years and nobody else in other parties has the same level of visibility. The 48% rating, positive rating, is also something that the TRS can be quite comfortable about. I would add a word here, which is, I think it also depends on the nature of non-TRS unity which will emerge in Telangana. If the non-TRS parties are able to come together and form a coalition, then that 48% which looked very good would look just beyond the margin if the others were to come together. That is just one point I'd like to add.
Let me just take that point. Let me take that point to Praveen Chakravarti, because that seems to be the key for the Congress at the moment. There is much talk of this Mahakutumi, including bringing together Chandrababu Naidu, the left and the Congress in an alliance. With these numbers, can we now expect a non-TRS coalition to be formed led by the Congress party? Is that your only hope?
We must remind viewers, this is in Telangana, the sample is 7,000 people on a phone survey with open questionnaire. It can lead to any sorts of answers. So I want to place that on record first. Second, to your specific question about what does it reveal for the Congress party, presumably this was done much before the elections were called. Correct? This survey was done much before the elections were called.
8th to the 12th of September.
8th to the 12th. So we've gone back actually to people so that they get the breaking news. Am I right?
We actually commissioned this because Telangana went to the polls, which is why we called up Pradeep Gupta and said, hey, we need numbers for Telangana. That's the whole idea, Rajdeep, behind the political stock exchange.
So in a sense that, it reflects the present realities, and you're right, the sample size is 400 people per constituency, about 7,000 for Kerala. For Telangana, we'll get, of course, Pradeep Gupta to respond to what you're saying.
Going by your numbers, 52% are not satisfied with the government performance.
That's one way of looking at it. Come on, 48 are saying satisfied, 16 are saying average. You are twisting the numbers to suit the Congress.
No, is that right or not? Is it a fact or not? 52%,
No, it's not a fact.
52% are not in the satisfied category.
No,
right?
there is an average
that's number
category.
one.
No, but those who think it's average could go either ways, Praveen Chakravarti. You're an empirical scientist. You shouldn't be juggling numbers
exactly
like
why I'm saying when you give a scale of 1 to 5, the 3 can be will vote or will not vote.
Absolutely.
The vote is a binary. Let's be clear. Hence, there is a way of looking at, am I satisfied? Will I go back and vote for them or will I not go back for them? These numbers with the sampling error, there is a clear sampling error in any survey. If I add the sampling error with this actually tells me that an alliance can certainly come back to power, come to power in Telangana. It is certainly in contention. And remember, this is early days.
Okay, so you've hinted at the alliance. I think we've got enough of a sense that the Congress now believes an alliance with the TDP is the way forward. But who's going to lead the alliance is the question.
Does the TDP have any traction in Telangana, even if you ally with them?
In some parts, they have a traction to the extent that the anti-TRS vote. I think Chandrasekhar Rahul has decided that he is the main contender. He is the big face. None of the other chief minister candidates come anywhere close to him. Uttam Reddy, and that's part of the Congress's problem. They don't have anyone to match Chandrasekhar Rao's popularity or image. So therefore, let's try and consolidate our vote.
And the people they had, the likes of a Keshav Rao, have left them and gone the other side. Bhanu Prasad of the TRS.
There's a big presumption.
Yes.
Realities. You see, Telangana.
The Andhraite is going to tell us the Telangana ground reality. Go ahead.
I'm a Telugu Bidda, so
You're
I speak for both the Telugu speaking states.
We are trying his hand both states.
Yes.
No. So, TDP primarily represents Andhra Pradesh. The manner in which, if you look at the discussions in the no confidence motion, it was actually TDP not fighting the BJP in parliament. They were actually fighting the TRS. If you go back to those visuals. So Andhra Pradesh and TDP itself presented itself as a champion of Andhra Pradesh, somebody who's been wronged by Telangana. So today people of Telangana see TDP with a great deal of suspicion. So by tying up with TDP, the Congress has actually become an untouchable to a large part of Telangana today.
So we are here to interpret numbers, not
therefore
put
this
words in people's mouth.
This unholy alliance will make
No, but
Congress
this is a good point that you need to respond to, Praveen, because if the TDP is not liked in large parts of the state, does an alliance with Chandrababu Naidu really turn out to be an asset, or could it be a liability?
See, okay, first we are here to interpret the numbers. We're not here to interpret what we think people would think, all right? That's number one. Second, there's a presumption in your statement that we have not done our own work before we make our political decisions. And that's, I would submit, is a wrong presumption.
Okay, Bhanu Prasad of the TRS is with us on this broadcast. The Congress seems to believe that if the TDP and the Congress were to tie up, there are enough naysayers and enough on the fence who could help make this a very tight election. As of now, KCR seems to be way ahead, but if there is a TDP Congress tie-up, the Congress seems to believe the situation can change.
There is no way the situation will change. In the last 4.5 years, there's no other state in this country, whether it is Congress-ruled state or whether it is BJP-ruled state, no other state in this country is performing as we are performing in this state. Being the newest, youngest state of this country, we have performed well in the last 4.5 years, and the GDP and the growth rate is showing those results,
Given what you're
examples
saying,
for that.
the schemes of KCR obviously is what you're banking on. Schemes like the Raitu Bandhu, his direct cash transfer schemes are the ones that you're banking on. That's one side of the story. The other side, of course, is there is a sense that he's been an absentee chief minister. This is a chief minister who's not accessible, doesn't go to the state secretariat, has built himself as larger than life. But this is not 2014, where you could ride the wave of the Telangana sentiment. This time there is some measure of anti-incumbency surely after 5 years. Does that at all trouble you?
See, people of Telangana have seen n number of governments, but they have never seen such a government which is pro-people and very closest to the people, heart of the people. So we are working till last 4.5 years only for the welfare of the people.
Pradeep Gupta, you've been comparing the results from Telangana with results coming in from other states, and so far we put out the results from Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. Is it fair to say that the popularity of incumbent Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao in comparison with Chief Ministers in the 3 states we showed last week is way ahead? That KCR at this moment far more popular, far more on strong ground, building into these November-December elections than Chief Ministers in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. Pradeep.
If you see our numbers, KCR is sitting at 43% popularity index and the second best is 18%. You can't see anybody is number one by far, number one by far. And the fragmented opposition, he is like a...
that's the question. With a fragmented opposition, no leader as tall as KCR, clearly his stock is much higher than anyone else at the moment. Even the BJP doesn't have any real face there. I'm presuming GVL Narasimha Rao, before Rahul goes for the other big numbers, you don't have a face in Telangana.
No.
You've got to concede that. You've got one Lok Sabha seat.
I won't. Look at your own numbers.
Do you see yourself as an opponent to KCR or as a potential ally? Now I want an honest answer with these numbers. How are you seeing KCR? Are you going to fight him? Is he an adversary?
We certainly see TR. We would like to see ourselves as the principal challenger to the TRS, because Congress, by tying up with TDP, has totally surrendered its position, compromised its identity in Telangana. And look at Krishnan Reddy. Look at the CM candidates. My leader is more or less tied with the Congress leader. So Congress doesn't have any popular leaders. We have many leaders. Krishnan Reddy, Bandaru Dattatreya, Dr. K. Lakshman. These are all state household names.
Okay, what we want to do next is give our viewers a sense of the popularity of the Modi government in Telangana. How do people perceive the central government? So let's take first the performance of the central government. What do people think of the performance of the Prime Minister? How satisfied are they? And how does this compare with the popularity of Rahul Gandhi? We asked the question, who should be India's next Prime Minister? Coming up on your screen now, responses to the question. And remember, in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, there was roughly a 20% gap between Rahul's popularity and that of Prime Minister Modi. Here, there is a 5% gap, much tighter in Telangana than it was in the Hindi heartland. 44% say Prime Minister Modi should be India's next Prime Minister. 39% believe the Congress president should be the next Prime Minister. There's KCR as well at 11%, but that's because this is in Telangana. Let's look now at the popularity of the central government. How do people perceive the performance of the central government? Coming up on your screen now, responses to this question. 41% think Modi ji's performance and that of his government has been good. 41%. You've got 24% who are saying that the performance of the government has been average, and you've got 32% saying the performance of the government, Rajdeep, has been bad. So the number of bad responses higher than in the state elect polls from Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, and a tighter fight than we saw in the Hindi heartland.
Regional parties today perhaps offer a bigger challenge to the BJP than the Congress party does. This was a Congress bastion at one time, Telangana. This is where Indira Gandhi would come. Andhra and Telangana, of course, one united state, when she had to fight an election, Medak in 1980. I'm just wondering whether now it's the regional parties who offer a bigger challenge to the BJP south of the Vindhyas than the Congress party does.
You are right, Rajdeep. You look at Andhra, you look at Telangana, you look at Tamil Nadu. The Congress seems to have been pushed to the background. And I think as we discuss Karnataka later, that same question will come up. So I think it's perfectly valid to say that south of the Vindhyas, state-based parties are becoming increasingly important. Let's also remember this point, Rajdeep, that in 2004, when the Congress did so well in the Lok Sabha elections, Andhra played a critical role in switching the balance between what was then the NDA and what later emerged as the UPA. So in that sense, the South has 5 different pictures emerging, and in at least 4 of the 5, the Congress seems to be conceding space to state-based parties.
Don't agree with Rajdeep's theory that the regional parties are giving a tougher fight to the BJP, because Rajdeep, these regional parties are indicating they're willing to do business with the BJP. You've got KCR saying Rahul Gandhi is the biggest buffoon. Sure. You've got in Andhra Pradesh, YSR already indicating that Jagan is willing to do business with Modi. So you've got, how are they giving a fight if they're willing ultimately to join the NDA?
No, that's NDA as far as the general elections possibly go. But in state elections, all these parties are looking to consolidate their base. What is TRS?
No, but which is, these are also states where the BJP traditionally has been weak.
But let's be very clear.
Look at 2014, in the election where we won a majority on our own. Telangana, we won only 1 seat.
Yes.
1 Lok Sabha seat, we fought on our own. And in Andhra Pradesh, we won 2 Lok Sabha seats in alliance with the TDP. So these states have never yielded.
So I think, Praveen Chakravarti, the point that needs to be answered by the Congress is, in states where you were traditionally strong, you're being edged out by regional forces. In states where the BJP was strong, they're holding on and they're adding new areas of strength which the Congress is ceding.
Okay. See, we are first talking about the southern states. Now, it is a gross exaggeration to say that the Congress has been edged out in all the states. In Tamil Nadu, to be fair, the Congress has not been in power for 50 years on its own. So it's not a new phenomenon. In Karnataka, the Congress came back after being in power, the first incumbent to have come back in the last 25 years. Last 25 years, right? Having won the popular vote share. In Telangana or United Andhra, there was a special situation. The state was split. We know the sentiments that went with it. We saw that in what happened at the last Lok Sabha. There were very strong sentiments about the separation of the state. And today, in Telangana, we are still this biggest opposition party, and we're still the party in contention to come to power. Okay. So on what basis do you grossly say?
Let's move to Andhra Pradesh, because I think Andhra Pradesh, much like Telangana, is a state being looked at very closely in this election. Quite simply, Chandrababu Naidu split away from the BJP just a few months ago. Has that gamble paid off? What is the Axis My India Today election tracker now saying for the state of Andhra Pradesh? Take a look at these numbers first. Remember, here again, we asked a very direct question. Who do you want as your chief ministerial candidate? And look at what it's throwing up. Next Chief Minister Jagan Reddy of the YSR Congress, Rahul has taken the lead, 43%. His stock is the one that seems to be rising because Chandrababu Naidu is 38%. I think this is the first ever poll done by a national channel that's actually showing Jagan now creeping ahead of Chandrababu Naidu in the popularity stakes, 43 to 38. Pawan Kalyan, who could play the role of a spoiler, Janasena, is at 5% of the popular vote. So clearly there you have it. Jagan Reddy is emerging as a contender in Andhra Pradesh. Take a look now at parties. How were the parties rated? Their performance of the state government. Performance of Chandrababu Naidu's state government. Thumbs up is 33%. So they are on the lower end. Clearly good is 33%, which is not good news for Chandrababu Naidu. Average is 18%. Add the two, that's about 51, 36%. That's more are saying bad than they are saying good.
And remember, this 33% Rajdeep needs to be contrasted with the 48% from Telangana.
That's
so
right.
Big gap.
So interestingly, Chandrasekhar Rao rated higher in his own state of Telangana. Substantially higher than Chandrababu Naidu, and those numbers will trouble Chandrababu Naidu and may drive him closer into an alliance because he will now need all the support he can get.
No, but he can't ally with the Congress in Andhra Pradesh.
He may well have to. Let's ask Ram Mohan Rao.
No, but who will fight who then?
Let's ask Ram Mohan Rao. Who's going to ally Mr. Rao? Are you going to ally with the Congress?
Rajdeep, there may be something wrong. You know, he cannot be ahead because maybe the whatever samples they have taken may be one-sided. But today, Andhra Pradesh, whatever welfare schemes, whatever the schemes we are doing, Mr. Naidu is extraordinary performance he is doing. And earlier, just now, GVL also quoted, in Telangana also, one MP they won on their own. No, it is a wrong. Telangana also, earlier election with the TDP alliance, BJP won one MP seat. In Andhra also, they won. So today, now the scenario is whatever reorganization act is there, center is failed to implement.
Okay. No, but I think some credit must be given to young Jagan Mohan Reddy. Despite all the court cases, and we tracked him a little bit, and we saw that he's walking. He had this Padyatra where he was walking day after day after day. He'd walk for 4 days. He had a court hearing on Friday. Virtually every Friday he had to come back as part of his bail conditions. He would drive back throughout the night after spending the whole day on the road. Pradeep Gupta, this data seems to indicate that his mass outreach in Andhra Pradesh clearly seems to have helped him.
Rahul, let me remind Mr. Mohan Reddy, even in 2014, YSR Congress has secured 44.35% vote as against TDP 44.61% vote, and they contested 165 seats, and BJP's, if you add 2% vote share, so it's come to 46% in total as against 44% of Jagan Mohan Reddy's YSR Congress.
Okay, Praveen Chakravarti.
One second. His home state, he's getting excited. The moment you said Andhra Pradesh, GVL Narasimha Rao wanted to dive into the stock exchange.
This is the first poll. We have covered so far about 5 states in the political stock exchange. And in no state is the opposition leader more popular than the incumbent chief minister.
True.
In Rajasthan, there was a tie. That's what I'm being very honest. This is the only state where opposition leader is far ahead of the incumbent chief minister.
5%
It clearly makes me feel happy. I think TDP is good riddance for us. Although we did not let them go, they went on their own. So we are happy. We got
So
rid
you're
of
going with
a
Jagan?
very
Are you telling us on the stock exchange that you're joining hands with Jagan?
No,
you're
but I'm saying
good riddance.
we
You're
are
saying
better
good
off.
riddance.
We would be better off on our own rather than be with a party, a ruling party.
But explain
which is
this to
facing
me,
the wrath of the people of Andhra
Praveen
Pradesh.
Chakravarti, how does this work that in November, December, the Congress can potentially tie up with the TDP in Telangana, then in April, May, when there's a general election, you're fighting with the TDP? Or does this data suggest that the TDP may feel vulnerable and therefore feel the need to tie up with the Congress even for the general elections?
Let's not indulge in conjecture. See, every state votes independently of each other. So we've seen this in Bengal and Kerala. We've seen situations where we can tie up with the left in Bengal and fight the left in Kerala. So let's be very clear that these are two independent elections. As of now, the Telangana election is upon us. it has been announced that yes, we are in talks for an alliance. And Andhra, we will come to Andhra when it's Andhra's.
No, TDP ministers are on record. Only about a week ago, 10 days ago, they said we will. So one of them, actually a deputy CM, if I remember correctly, he said we will commit suicide if there is a Congress TDP tie-up.
So
after that, they have gone ahead and tied up in Telangana.
Even though there is no direct data, what's your best sense of the impact a Congress TDP alliance in Telangana may have on the elections in November, December? Pradeep Gupta.
Yeah, if I think they have a better prospect if they fight separately TDP and Congress, then there is a fragmented
Why do you
vote.
say that?
And if they come to, because see, traditionally in Andhra Pradesh, Congress as on its own was very strong. So YSR Congress is the subset of that only, and if Congress joined with TDP, it adds vote to the TDP's account and is likely to be better performing than otherwise.
That's a very interesting point, because Sandeep Shastri, here you have an unusual situation where two parties who in a sense have been enemies are possibly coming together to try and take away space that, as Pradeep Gupta describes, is of a party which is a subset of the Congress. Rajshekhar Reddy has been the tallest leader in a sense of the Congress in Andhra Pradesh in the last couple of decades, and now his son is taking that vote away from the Congress, has already taken it. The Congress is turning to Chandrababu Naidu. Does that work for you? Or is Pawan Kalyan the X factor?
Rajdeep, as has been rightly said, but as Pradeep just now rightly said, and as we have been debating for the last few minutes, I think the YSR Congress in Andhra represents in some ways that anti-TDP vote. And any tie-up between the TDP and Congress, I'm not too sure how much it will benefit the TDP. Because as it seems today, Congress seems to be a very marginal player in Andhra, with the YSR Congress having taken the critical position. I think the BJP is going to watch and look at a post-election alliance if needed in Andhra and continue to retain its identity. That I think would be the game plan. But one small point, Rajdeep.
Rich for the BJP to say that
YSR
Congress is non-existent in southern states.
Yeah, finish your point.
Andhra Pradesh.
Let him finish it. Yes.
If I have just one more point to make, let's remember that just before the 2004 Lok Sabha election, the TDP had withdrawn from the BJP NDA alliance. They have done this for a second time. So I'm not too sure whether citizens take kindly to this act of being with a party for X number of years and then withdrawing. And that is seen very clearly in the Chief Minister's sweepstakes in Andhra Pradesh.
Who's your face? You know, this is one state where you still... Let's be very clear. You can, damn the Congress. No, the Congress has committed self-goal after self-goal in Andhra. Their stock is going down all the time. How is your stock going to rise? How is your stock going to rise in Andhra?
Andhra Pradesh.
Are you the face? No.
No, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana was really a sunrise state for the Congress. And that's a state which, it's a battleground state for them. Today, in Andhra Pradesh for sure, the Congress is miles behind the BJP. We are certainly making efforts to emerge as an alternate third force in the state.
And all alliances post-poll for you? Nothing pre-poll?
As of now, we are planning to contest all the seats. And in 1998, for your information, we contested in United Andhra Pradesh on our own. And we won 4 Lok Sabha seats and polled 18% vote. We still have about 5 months to go, 6 months to go to begin the Lok Sabha campaigning. We certainly hope to gain in Andhra like we did in 98.
Praveen, you wanted to make a final point on Andhra Pradesh.
Yeah, see, in Andhra Pradesh, I can reveal this much. We run polls regularly at sample sizes 10 times as large. There is no indication that the BJP is a factor in Andhra, nearly to the extent what...
But neither are you. It is Jagan versus Chandrababu. It's a battle between Jagan and Chandrababu.
I mean, admittedly, the Congress is not as strong in Andhra Pradesh as it is in Telangana, where it is clearly the party in contention. But the BJP certainly is not the party in contention.
Behind us.
What we want to do now is look at the performance of the central government in Telangana. And this, to my mind, is one of the most highlightable portions of the political stock exchange, because in no state that we've seen so far, when respondents were asked the question, who should be India's next prime minister, does Congress President Rahul Gandhi emerge ahead of Prime Minister Modi. Now remember, in Andhra Pradesh, the TDP has been running a very strong campaign against the BJP and against the Prime Minister, saying that the promise of a special status has not been lived up to. Here, and this is very significant, you're seeing it on TV for the first time, in the state of Andhra Pradesh, Axis My India is telling India today that the current level of popularity of Congress President Rahul Gandhi is 6% more than that of Prime Minister Modi.
You know what, Rahul? The Congress party has taken a screenshot at the moment.
So has the BJP, don't forget that.
They're going to keep, the Congress party has kept a screenshot of what you've just shown. It's going to be an image for forever. This is perhaps the first time that we are seeing this won't last. And GVL Narasimha Rao has seen those images and is now worried because his stock as an Andhra is under question. And is it because of breaking away from Babu? Breaking away from Babu has cost you.
For several months, no, it's not just that. For several months, there has been an anti-BJP tirade or a shrill campaign that has been going on. But this will be a fleeting image. So you're right. Image. Congress should take a photo shoot.
So we're not talking.
Should take a picture of this because this is not going to last long. Because the Prime Minister hasn't spoken on this issue so far. We haven't even begun our campaign. This will completely reverse, and Rahul will come back to the place which he deserves to be.
Okay, so we're not indulging in rhetoric here. I don't want to respond to some political rhetoric here. Let's talk numbers. I will be fair. I will be fair and say, yes, there is a lead for Mr. Gandhi over Mr. Modi. The lead is within the margin of error as it is in your other states. In a sample size of 7,000, 10,000, 5 percentage points margin of
I'm
error.
glad he's not believing these numbers himself.
So you can make political statements and rhetoric. I will be a true
Let me ask Pradeep Gupta, what is the margin of error? Pradeep Gupta, what is the margin of error? In each, correct, again for our viewers who are watching this stock exchange, go to every Lok Sabha constituency with a sample size of about 400. So Andhra Pradesh will be roughly in a state with 25 Lok Sabha seats, about a 10,000 sample.
10,000.
What's your margin of error?
Yeah, 10,000.
What's your margin of error?
Rajdeep, see, though it is not straightway translating into the votes, but as far as the margin of error goes, since it is a very scientific and representative demography and geography, as you rightly mentioned, across the all parliamentary constituency of Andhra Pradesh. So I don't see anything more than 2% for sure when it comes to the popularity and performance of the government. Why should people lie about the performance, what they like or what they don't like?
Okay, let me then ask you, Mr. Ramona Rawadi, at the very end, are you going with this alliance with the Congress or not? Give us your, are you testing the waters? Will a poll like you push you further into an alliance? Yes or no? That two stocks will need to join now to build your equity.
No, Mr. Rajdeep, alliance, still for 5 more months, go ahead, time is there. But now, time being, in Telangana, we are going, our party, Telangana party decided, CPI and local leaders, they are discussing Mahakotami, they are going. See, the Congress, which
in Andhra, sir, in Andhra, are you going on your own?
Being a Telugu man.
In Andhra, are you going on your own?
Andhra, we are going on our own. Andhra, we are going on our own. See, GVL Narasimha Rao, whatever he is saying, center is ditched us, and being a Telugu man, he should have fought with Narendra Modi to give a special status, whatever reorganization act pending issues to be implemented there. Those issues, they are not able to implement. Okay. Whatever they say, today people are very angry with the center.
That yours is only a political.
Okay, let's leave the rhetoric. Let's go back. Let's leave the rhetoric.
Is very high.
Okay, let's leave the rhetoric.
It's very good.
Let's leave the rhetoric. Tell us, Rahul, what you're going to show us after the break.
Okay, no. So we have one more question for Andhra Pradesh before I take a quick break. This is on the question of the performance of the central government. Coming up on your screen next, we asked respondents in the state of Andhra Pradesh what they thought about the performance of the Modi government. 31% said it's good, which is not a very high number, but which is not very bad either. 23% thinks it's average, which is a very big number for the average category. 23% thinking it's being average. 42% think it's bad. What that suggests is that people in Andhra Pradesh not satisfied with the Modi Sarkar.
Look, I think it's very clear. the entire fracas with Chandrababu Naidu, the denial of so-called special status, however you look at it, has worked against the BJP for now. Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao says it's a temporary phenomenon, we'll have to see. But as of today, the BJP is on the back foot.
So on that question of whether it is a temporary phenomena or not, make a note about these numbers in your mind, because 10 weeks from now, so 10 weeks from now, we'll have the numbers for Telangana and Andhra Pradesh on your screen again. Remember, for the next 42 weeks, this is a tracker poll. So we'll keep going back. Pradeep Gupta and his team at Access My India will keep going back, revisiting these numbers and showing you whether, as the BJP claims,
are they going back to the same state?
We will go back to the same people again and again to track.
State government's performance in Andhra Pradesh is even worse than the rating of the central government.
Okay,
so please take a look at
I take a quick break. Rajdeep and I will come back with the results from Karnataka. Remember, it's only been about 3 months that we've got a new government in place. It's a Congress JDS government. What do people in Karnataka think about the performance of the state government? The results from Karnataka of the political stock exchange coming up on the other side of a quick break.
Political stock exchange, our weekly election tracker, the Access by India Today tracker that's going state by state to give you a sense voter sentiment building up to the elections of 2019. We've discussed Telangana and Andhra. What about the stocks of leaders and parties in Karnataka, a state that's gone through much political turbulence in 2018?
So what we'll do, Rajdeep, for the state of Karnataka is show our viewers first what respondents across Karnataka think of the performance of the JDS Congress government. Remember, there have been lots of ups and downs, highs and lows. Here are the responses of our respondents. Only 23% think H.D. Kumaraswamy and his government have done a good job, which is a very low approval rating, because this really should be when the popularity is at a high because the government just got started. It's not. 28% think he's average. So more people think his government's been average than they think it's been good. And if you look at the numbers for bad, that's even higher at 35%. So all in all, in Karnataka, Pradeep Gupta, the numbers for Kumaraswamy's government are not looking good. Just very few people are satisfied with the quality of the governance of the Congress and the JDS. Pradeep?
Yeah, Rahul, I want to just inform you it's only 3 months. So if you see this average, which is 28%, most of the people says that it's too early. It's too early to evaluate the performance of state government. So that is the reason why you see the 28% much more than the satisfied ones. And as far as the dissatisfied ones, yeah.
Which is interesting, Rajdeep, that they haven't given up on the government just yet. They're obviously not very enthused by this coalition, but it's not as if they're looking to get him out just at this moment.
My sense, Rahul, purely politically speaking, I think this is a stock that people are not sure whether it will exist a few months from now or not. Will the JDS Congress combined be in power 3 months from now? So I think people are wary. They've gone through a very turbulent time, a long, troubling election. And I just wonder what happens in the next 6 months. We could be discussing very different permutations and combinations 6 months from now. So I think this is a state in flux. And I think these numbers are reflecting the flux that Karnataka still is in.
Praveen, from the Congress's perspective, this isn't necessarily very good news, because if the people think that the state government in Karnataka is not doing well, that could impact what happens in the 28 seats of Karnataka in April, May.
See, first, Rahul, I completely agree with Rajdeep. This is very early, the data is too noisy, and largely people are saying, let's wait and watch. Remember, in 2004, when UPA 1 came in, the first 6 months was exactly like this. Since you're called stock exchange, the stock market actually tanked back then. And when confidence came in that, yes, this is a coalition that will govern well and last, the stock went up. So it's very, very similar. I think it's way too early to draw conclusions that this will impact central government performance. The fact of the matter is, in the recently held Karnataka election, the Congress party had the highest vote share. It performed the best across all districts, and it was by and large, the most preferred party.
But the
choice.
fact is that in 2019 we are heading for a Lok Sabha election in Karnataka, Sandeep Shastri, and we've seen traditionally Kannadigas vote very differently in Vidhan Sabha and Lok Sabha. Therefore, as you look at these numbers and the formation of a state government of the JDS Congress, clearly a marriage of convenience, most would say, of opportunism, how do you see that building up in the months ahead? How do you see the Kumaraswamy Congress alliance actually working if Modi becomes a factor in a general election?
Rajdeep, there are 2-3 points just now in what you said. Yes, this is a coalition which people did not anticipate. It's a post-election coalition. And the stock of the coalition in terms of popular perception is very clearly reflected in your survey. I think the daily pinpricks the coalition is suffering, the infighting within the coalition, the contradictions within the coalition are very visible. And it therefore looks to be a very, very golden opportunity for the BJP. But the challenge on the other side is BJP itself is not a united house in Karnataka. This is one of those rare states where in the BJP, the national leadership and the state leadership is not in sync. So I think the next 7-8 months up till the next Lok Sabha elections is critical for both the groups to be able to get their act together. Which of the two is able to get their act together effectively, I think is going to be decisive in the people deciding in the state as to who their preference would be for.
There's also, of course, the talk in this state of a potential, as I said, political realignment. Operation Kamla Part 2 talks that you are targeting 20 Congress MLAs, offering them 100 crores each, and the BJP wants to bring down this government by Diwali. That's why I said we don't know whether this talk will exist a couple of months from now. Is there any truth in that you are desperate to bring down the Kumaraswamy Congress government?
Not at all. I think your own poll clearly shows a complete public disapproval of this government, disenchantment with this experiment. The tail is heading the government, and the Congress, which has lost public mandate, is now through the back door is in power.
But they've got
so there is a
strong arithmetic. JDS plus Congress, strong arithmetic. Are you worried about it or not?
No, not at all. Lok Sabha will be a different ball game. Lok Sabha tend to be more a direct contest.
Can I show the Lok Sabha numbers,
the BJP
please?
and Congress.
Okay, let's.
And the BJP by this unholy alliance, the BJP will get a natural bump, and we will certainly get a bigger tally than what we got last time.
Let's take the numbers.
We hope that this government survives till Lok Sabha election.
You hope that they survive. You won't do anything.
No, we want it to survive till Lok Sabha election.
You want it to survive till Lok Sabha.
Yes.
Okay. So what I want to do now in the last part of this broadcast is show you the responses on the performance of the central government and who people in Karnataka want to see as the next Prime Minister. So coming up on your screen, first are responses to the question, who should be the next Prime Minister? Look at the responses for Prime Minister Modi. He is at 55% approval. That is a very strong number in Karnataka. But Rahul Gandhi is doing much better in Karnataka than he did in the Hindi heartland states. There, his numbers were in the upper 20s, lower 30s. There was a 20% gap. Here, the gap is tighter. It's still a 13% gap, but the gap much tighter than in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. Let's show you now the perception of people on the question about the performance of the Modi Sarkar. So how satisfied are respondents with the Modi Sarkar? Coming up on your screen now, the number of people who think the government's been good, 41%. Which, remember, Karnataka isn't your BJP heartland, right? So it's one of the outreaches of the BJP. 41% is not a bad number. Let's show you the number of people who think the government's been average. 16% think the government has been average. This is much lower than the numbers from Andhra Pradesh. And 30% think, Rajdeep, the government's been bad. So net, in Karnataka, unlike Andhra Pradesh, Prime Minister Modi ahead of Rahul Gandhi, but the numbers not quite comparable with the Hindi heartland.
I think we saw the popularity of the Prime Minister even in the state elections. He attracted large crowds. Andhra is, I think, an outlier at the moment when it comes to Mr. Modi's personal popularity. But what is becoming clearer is every state is throwing up very, very different outcomes. Look at Rajasthan, where there's clear anti-incumbency. Last week we saw Madhya Pradesh, the BJP holding on to its own, Chhattisgarh holding on to its own, but Telangana, a regional satrap, is asserting himself. Andhra Pradesh, a new challenger is emerging. Karnataka, potential arithmetic of a new coalition. I think India is a mirror cracked. And I think that's what our stock exchange is showing at the moment, Rahul. I think that, would you agree with that, that therefore, it is virtually working state by state in 2019 rather than one pan-Indian picture.
Same thing goes for 2014 as well. You see, in 2014 also, we could not win states like West Bengal. The
Sure, but
regional
you had what Praveen famously called the black swan moment, where across 11 states you virtually won 80 to 90% of
those
the
are the
seats.
states
No, but
where
it's
we
a
are
black
pitted
swan,
against the
Rajdeep. If it
Congress.
happens only once, it happened again in the assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. So a black swan can't happen twice over.
Therefore,
It did not happen in the assembly election. That's completely wrong.
No, but therefore, I'm just wondering whether the map of India in 2019 will have to be reworked by parties. They will lose in some of those states and they will have to make up in other states.
See, in data science, Rajdeep, there's something called trends are different from levels. The same numbers, how are they looking for the Congress 6 months ago, 3 months ago? Do you see a clear trend here that the Congress is certainly picking up dramatically?
Yeah, but if you're rock bottom, where else will you go?
And the BJP is, that's exactly what is called the black swan. And the BJP is certainly coming down. So the trends are absolutely
No,
clear.
but how can it be a black swan if it repeats? How can 2014 Uttar Pradesh, for example, be a black swan if it repeats in 2017 in March?
Uttar Pradesh as a state is not the black swan, Rahul. Let me explain. The fact that in 11 states, a political party wins 90% of all seats is unprecedented in India's electoral history. And that is not going to happen again. That is not going to happen again. As simple as that.
Let's leave it there. Let's leave it there because I think we have much ground to cover. We've only covered, what, 6 states? And we've got a tracker which, as Rahul says, is going to go on right till the 2019 elections. Someone's stock will go up, someone's will go down. Clearly, we've had fascinating results today because there is, against conventional wisdom, a shift that's taking place in states
Rajdeep,
like
I have a
Andhra
quick
Pradesh.
programming note. There is this new website we've curated. It's called electiontuck.in. We've been working hard on putting the numbers together. So you'll find all the results from the political stock exchange so far. So you want to do a state-by-state comparison, you can do that. What you can also find there is results going back all the way to 1952. So going back multiple assembly and Lok Sabha elections, you can see in every constituency what happened. So this, we'll keep building it. So it's not a complete project just yet, but the first set of numbers out. We'll keep building this as we build up to April, May 2019.
Just enough time to thank all our guests. Wonderful to have people who understand numbers on the program. Pradeep Gupta, you're the man whose head will be on the line come 2019. Remember, if we get our numbers right, Rahul and I will take the credit. If the numbers are wrong, Pradeep gets the blame. For now, thanks very much for watching the political stock exchange and all the ups and downs.
So we'll be back next week when we'll track the numbers from Uttar Pradesh. That's a tease we're just putting out. Pradeep and his team are hard at work from all the districts of Uttar Pradesh, picking up numbers and trends. How happy are people with the Yogi Adityanath government and with the Prime Minister? Find out next week.
And Uttar Pradesh is the ultimate blue chip share. That's the one everyone needs if they have to win the elections of 2019. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.